All right, giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rachakodash. Double honors to the elders, apostles, and bishops of Great Millstone, as well as the men that taught them, and peace and blessings unto the 144,000, as well as the rest of the elect. It's Brother Taza Pie here with your daily lunch special, and this is a follow-up, all right, to yesterday's special that you see here on your screen, titled Technocrats About to Fill Their Belly, all right, in reference to Job chapter 20, all right, and Lord willing, we'll get that, all right. So I'm gonna jump straight into it. Yesterday I botched the video, all right, trying to be slick. So I went to clock in and let the video run, all right, but I accidentally hit my screen, and so you didn't get the visuals at the beginning of the video, but you got the audio, all right. But like I said, I wanted to go back and take a look at this video, you know, a little bit in depth, not super deep, but just give it a little, because it's worthy, all right, of giving some attention to, okay. And so yeah, we're just gonna get into it, so don't run out of time. All right, and here's the video.
Trump's inauguration, where we've seen all these tech billionaires there. There's a reason for that, and I'm going to show you why. In the 1930s, there was this thing called the Technocracy movement. It was a social movement active in the United States and Canada. This movement favored technocracy as a system of government over representative democracy and partisan politics. Just take a wild guess of who started.
Okay, and so democracy, all right, you could call that the great experiment, because they look at America. If you ever hear the elite speak about America or certain people in the know, they'll call this the great experiment, all right, because this is a corporation. This country is ran as a corporation and not a kingdom, all right? It's a corporate kingdom, okay? Not, and again, remember, this is revised Rome. Well, let's look at Daniel 7. Okay, yeah. So remember, all right, we are in the revised Roman Empire with America sitting right at the center, all right? And then you got the rest of the beast, NATO and EU, all right? They make up Esau's power structure in the world today, all right? That beast and the whore that sits upon the scarlet-colored beast. All right, but it was prophesied, and I'm right here, Daniel 7:7. After this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a fourth beast, all right, dreadful and terrible and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces and stamped the residue with the feet of it, all right, talking about all other existing kingdoms, empires, whatever. They went for it. What it's saying is Rome conquered everything in this past, all right? And they wasn't letting nothing escape its path, all right? If you wasn't in their path, they'd go get you in their path and conquer you, all right? Rome was kicking ass and taking names and making tributaries, all right? And so, well, let's read on. So that's what this is talking about, all right? Now, it speaks about, it says, all right, after this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth, in reference to its military power, okay? Beast devour with teeth and claws, all right? And of course, just overwhelming brute strength, all right, but they devour with the teeth and they tear with the claws, all right? So in the case of a kingdom, that would be its military, all right? It said it devoured and brake in pieces and stamped the residue, all right? And they're just saying they went forth to conquer, and there was none to resist. It said, and it was diverse, and this is the point, all right? It was diverse And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. All right, and she's going to talk about 10 kingdoms. I broke that down yesterday. She's talking about the 10 horns. All right, and I said the 10 toes yesterday, same thing. The horn and the toes are the same. All right. Now, how is it diverse from the rest of the beasts? They set up democracy. Ancient Rome had a form of democracy. It ain't democracy as we know it today, but they had a Senate, all right, a Senate House, and they had senators, all right, that they really called the shots, all right. They just didn't want to have one man sitting in power, all right. So they designated power to the Senate and the Senate House. And although you had a, ruler in the form of a Caesar, all right, the checks and the balances was with the Senate. So although the Caesar had some power, his power was kept in check and in balance by the Senate. So do we not see that today? Except you see Trump right now. All right, and this is what the video is going into. He's removing all of the checks and balances of government to this democracy that they set up, which was diverse. All right? In the past, kingdoms ruled by monarch. A king sat on the throne. All right? I just offhand, I can't think of biblically any other way of ruling. All right? And with us, the power was divided between the king and the prophet. All right? The king had power, but, and I ain't gonna say but, the king had power. Now I get to say but, he had to consult with the prophets before he did anything of significance. All right, that would involve the nation. But anyway, see, this is where I get in trouble. I go off on these tangents, and then I don't get to the meat of the matter. So let's get to the meat of the matter, all right? So we are in the revised Roman Empire, all right? This great experiment, because it's only been done in Rome, but the way that it's done today, even, this is Rome 2.0. All right, is Rome coming back? But of course, they're going to add some things and maybe take away some things. All right. So now we have a president because this is a corporation. All right. Ancient Rome was not a corporation. But Esau set up at least Babylon, all right, as a corporation. But if you really take a look into the corporate world, it's global. All right. It's global. Some people would even go as far as to say that it's a God dog it, I had the word right on the tip of my tongue, the corptocracy. I think that's how they pronounce it. A corptocracy is a rule by the corporations. And we were in a corptocracy. Yeah, we were. But the corptocracy, ruled by corporations, is about to be handed over to Palantir, to AI 5, 6G, 6G, you got to say 6G and AI, and all of this is your next government in the eyes of Esau. Okay? So that was it right there. Let's go back.
Started this. This movement was called the North American Technate. This movement proposed a unified North America run by scientists and engineers. We know that Elon Musk has been talking about this as well, with his Mars colonization. But do you know who the leader of Technocracy Inc. was? It was this man right here. His name is Joshua Haldeman. He is the grandfather of Elon Musk. Now listen to this. Technocracy is the science of social engineering, the scientific operation of the entire social mechanism to
Keep that in mind. That's Elon's grandfather, all right, allegedly. Which I believe her, but I'm going to throw that allegedly out there because I don't have the receipts. But it all checks out, all right? It all checks out. But anyway.
Produce and distribute goods and services to the entire population of this continent. Technocracy will distribute by means of a certificate of distribution available to every citizen from birth to death. The Technate will encompass the entire American continent from Panama to the North Pole because the natural resources and natural boundary of this area make it independent. I hope this is starting to click because this is the map of the North American Technate where you see Greenland, Canada, the United States, Mexico, and Venezuela. That's not all. The technocratic movement planned to reform the work schedule to achieve the goal of uninterrupted production, maximizing efficiency and profitability of resources, transport, entertainment facilities, avoiding the weekend effect. Haven't we heard Trump talk about that? According to the movement's calculations, it would be enough that every citizen worked a cycle of 4 consecutive days.
Let me tell you something about the weekend effect. That's the only way Jake been working. Yeah, it's time for them to go. They don't want you to have no joy here, period, working round the clock. You know, you ain't going to be working all day. They going to put you in shifts. But who want to work like that? You know? And so, yeah, this is just a total, a complete nightmare. Okay, I can't imagine living like that. You know, the shit that they talking about implementing and forcing people to adhere to it's ridiculous, horrible. All right. Yeah, you take away that weekend and you think you're gonna get some production. Yeah, the weekend, the only way America been staying afloat. You know, hey, the OJs made a song about it. That's Jake. That's all Jake had in captivity. Looking forward to them weekends, just like they gonna look forward to the Sabbath. All right, we look forward, well, to their Sabbath, which they said was Sunday. All right, and that's going back to chattel slavery. That's the only day we had off. And Saturday, you probably did light chores, you know, and even Sunday, maybe some light chores. But Sunday, pretty much, you got a little rest. And that's how it's going to go in the kingdom. They're going to get rest. We going to teach them how to love the Sabbath day. But right now, they just profane it, ignore it. They're disgusted by it. They don't promote it. They got the power to push it. But you see how she's saying they don't want to shut down production. They want around-the-clock production. You know, what they'll be producing, I have no idea. The people are the consumers. The consumers going to put on, that's what she's going into, carbon credits and rations of energy. So what are they producing? No, they're going to be forging the earth. Well, this is what they want, to make the earth in their image. And all what she showed you, that map, all right, they want to put cities and all of that, you know, and especially like she was saying up in Greenland. She going to say it. So I'm going to let the video play, all right?
Hours a day, followed by 3 days off, which sounds good until you start really digging. Here comes the price system. It came up with energy certificates, which would have a table with the information of a citizen's identification, age, sex, occupation, location, energy allotment.
Okay, let me go back a little bit. So it sounds like it's 4 days work and 3 days off.
Of a citizen's identification, age, sex, occupation, location, energy allotment, and purchases made. And it would be called an energy distribution card. And here is what they proposed decades ago. And for some reason, the duality symbol's there. But you also see the chip. The Universal Identity Card. Now, they have rules with these cards. There would be equal allotments of energy. Citizens cannot trade or give away certificates. They can only spend energy at verified vendors. Once a purchase is made at the vendor, the energy used is made void. And their certificates have an expiration date. Once again, no citizen can hoard energy. And certificates are directly tied to an individual's ID. Therefore, it cannot be stolen or used by someone else. From the outside, that would sound really good. Now, back then, the computer wasn't used much, but they wanted to use an energy certificate in Dewey Decimal System so that they could track computation. And IBM computers were exactly the kind of devices a CAS would want to deploy.
And the beta test was ran in Nazi Germany with IBM International Business Machines for what they're getting ready to do now. A lot of what they did was, or what they're doing, was beta tested in the Third Reich, Nazi Germany. All right, the Thiemenites. All right, very instrumental. They are the geniuses of the Edomites. All right, technological, engineering. Just that, my hat's off to them. Them some innovative motherfuckers. I gotta say it like that, you know. The Thiemenites, all right, to give you the the Volkswagen and the BMW. What's that? I believe the Volvo also is German. I'm not totally sure on that, but some of the best cars if you can afford them. All right. Okay, let's go forward.
You know they have that now, but they knew that one of the big troubles with all of this is that your computers is going to do away with your accountants and your engineers. There would be equal allotments of energy. Citizens cannot trade or give away certificates. They can only spend energy at verified vendors. Once a purchase is made at the vendor, the energy used is made void. And their certificates have an expiration date. Once again, no citizen can hoard energy. And certificates are directly tied to an individual's ID. Therefore, it cannot be stolen or used by someone else. From the outside, that would sound really good. Now, back then, the computer wasn't used much, but they wanted to use an energy certificate in Dewey Decimal System so that they could track computation. And IBM computers were exactly the kind of devices a CAS would want to deploy. Well, wouldn't you know they have that now? But they knew that one of the big troubles with all of this is that your computers is going to do away with your accountants and your engineers. And it is also going to do away with your executives as well as blue-collar and white-collar jobs. So Elon Musk has come up with something for this. He predicts AI will create universal high income. It probably won't be income. It will be energy, because our economy is about to crash. And that's probably the plan. So here comes Greenland. We'll probably have Venezuela soon, but Trump wants Greenland now too. Billionaires dream of building utopian techno city in Greenland. The freedom.
So that's it. Building utopian techno city. All right. And that's will probably be the brunt, if you will, of their, I guess, construction or their work, because as I see it, they want everybody living like the Matrix, the movie, So, and this is why they talk about energy. They talk in the terms of energy, all right, and energy consumption, right? As if you some type of fucking device. That these people, man, the goddamn audacity, the unmitigated gall of this goddamn devil. I'm a child of Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai. And fuck what they talking about. Reduce me to and you the basis of man, you gonna reduce me to goddamn fucking radio or something. Yeah, you can only get this energy, for you could just go to work. That's all pretty much. What the fuck you mean? My energy come from the Most High. What the fuck are they talking about? Where you getting this energy? Is what you gonna plug me into something? And that's where all of this is going. Again, the Matrix. Eventually they want to plug you in. That's where all of this shit is going. What you mean you going in energy? I'm surrounded by it. The Most High gave it freely. The scriptures say the Spirit. Hold on. This is Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning, the Elohim, all right, the gods, created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai moved upon the face of the waters. And that's all I need to read. The Spirit of the Most High, that's energy. And moved upon the face of the waters. Now, them same waters, that's why I say energy is all around me. The Spirit of the Most High is all around us, encapsulating us, emerging us. We're baptized in it. It's just you got those who know, and you got the majority of the world who don't know. All right, the waters, them same waters, is still here. All right, in your atmosphere. That's why they spray it with chemtrails to pollute it. They want to pollute the Most High's creation. All right, including you. And that's just how it is. This is how they are. Let's see, right, so yeah, that Spirit of the Most High, that's power, energy. So what the fuck are you talking about? How am I doing this video? By energy. I didn't need to go to you. The Spirit say we should serve our enemies for the want of all things, not energy. All right, we built your fucking society. We built this fucking corporation. And we didn't need to get energy from you to do it. So they fixing to put the whole world on some more artificial bullshit, like the petrodollar, just some made up bullshit, and watch the people go along with it. They shouldn't have went along with the petrodollar, but they did, and we were stuck with that bullshit for 50 years. Now they finna get you to go along with carbon fucking credits and shit so they can tax your energy. They're taxing your energy. Motherfucker, I can't do a video about these people without cursing. And I don't like to curse in my lessons because it might be cheering. Might need to hear this or, might come across it. Well, not cheering, but, youngsters, impressionable, and even some women. But this stuff just upsets me, man. They just totally not giving no acknowledgement whatsoever to our Father and our Lord, all right? Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, Hamashiach. I'm going to try to play the rest of this video, all right? They don't want to see me with spiritual powers. I'm going to tell you right now. Anyway.
Because it will have minimal corporate regulation. They want to be able to do whatever they want to. They can focus on accelerating emerging technologies
y'all
like
don't put up no goddamn resistance.
And it is also going
doing what the hell they been doing what the fuck they want to do. And y'all just let them because you don't want to be disturbed from your comfort. And you think going to vote is your obligation to society. Oh, I've done my duty. I voted. And that's how they look at voting. Not as, we got to get these policies. And, Esau look at it, does it that way. All people just vote out of obligation, and so they can say they did it and don't have to hear nobody's mouth. Because they don't even know half the time what they're voting for. All right? Negroes and Latinos helped put Trump in office. Negroes and Latinos put Biden in office. And every year, y'all, every cycle, y'all keep getting a raw-ass deal. But keep running your ass back to the polls. And obviously, you like raw deals. Anyway,
do away with your executives as well as blue-collar and white-collar jobs. So Elon Musk has come up with something for this. He predicts AI will create universal high income. It probably won't be income. It will be energy, because our economy is about to crash. And that's probably the plan. So here comes Greenland. We'll probably have Venezuela soon, but Trump wants Greenland now too. Billionaires dream of building utopian techno city in Greenland, the Freedom City, because it will have minimal corporate regulation. They want to be able to do whatever they want to. They can focus on accelerating emerging technologies like AI and mini nuclear reactors. And the frigid climate could naturally cool the massive energy extensive AI data centers. Plus, large deposits of critical and rare earth materials buried beneath the island's ice sheets could also potentially be used to manufacture consumer electronics. America is destroying itself because of politics, and everybody is just letting this happen. We are literally watching them do this plan. Y'all remember when Trump said you don't have to vote anymore after this time? Well, if this plan works, there won't be politicians. Tech billionaires will own and run different parts of America.
But you have to get out and vote. And again, Christians, get out and vote.
And that's the gist of it. Y'all saw the rest of the video yesterday. How I wanted to sum this up, all right? As you heard us say, this goes back to it really goes back to 1776. All right, this is the Illuminati plan unfolding. All right, them trying to bring it to fruition. That's why I titled it Technocrats About to Fill Their Belly. All right, this is an old, ancient plan that they are bringing forth to light. This is grievousness, which they had prescribed, that we're seeing playing out in the earth. Because as the scriptures say, it is in the power of their hand to do it. And when the morning is light, they practice it. Well, because it's in the power of their hand to do it. Micah 2:1 and 2. But when we look at this, all right, and this is Psalm 73:3. For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. All right, it seems like they're prospering right now, huh? Like they got it going on, everything going their way, they winning. It said, verse 4, for there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm, right? There's no bands in their death. And you go to bands, it mean like to bind or restrain. Let me see what it said. I looked it up a while back. I don't remember the word. Harshwaba. Harshwaba. Harasaba. Swaba. That's interesting. Hara. Raza. Shirai. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Salaki for that. Hataza. Washu. Haraba. a rabbi. Uh, in the outline of biblical usage, sorry for the pronunciation. I'm not sure about that pronunciation, Salakia. But the word means, all right, in the English transliteration, all right, harsuba or harswaba, it says bond, fetter, pained, hands. 1A bonds, 1B pains, all right? So, right, to tie down, to restrain, to fasten. And so it's saying death does not stop these people. That's what it's saying. For there are no bands, no fetters, all right? No restraints in their death, but their strength is firm. It was firm, all right? The Lord is breaking down their strength now, all right? And this is how it's firm. Psalm 17. And right at the point 14, all right? Well, I got to get 13, all right? Psalm 17 and 13. Arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down. Deliver my soul from the wicked, all right, which is thy sword. And the Edomites are the wicked, okay? They are classified, all of them, as the wicked. Just as we are the saints, the Israelites, all of us. All right. As Apostle Tahar say, you just got some wicked saints right now. 2/3 of our people are wicked. All right. But we're the saints. All right. The sons of the Most High. The so-called white people, so you can identify them. They're not all white, but the Edomites are the wicked. And it said, verse 14, from men which are thy hand, on the left hand of the Most High. O Lord, from men of the world, which have their portion in this life. Right, this is their portion. That's why they hustling so hard. Because their portion is up. It's really up. They're trying to prolong. They need to bring this mark of the beast and get to this third woe. But it says, right, which have their portion in this life, in whose belly thou fillest with thy hid treasure. They are full of children and leave the rest of their substance to their babes. All right? So this goes back to Elon's grandfather. All right? And the Rockefeller, the same characters you see today on the stage. You don't see Rockefeller too much no more after, what's his name, passed. But believe me, they still in the picture. All right? That's why I say there are no bands in their death. They're going to leave their substance to their babes with their plans, their ideas, their ideologies. All right? They want to take over the world. You can't do it in one lifetime. You need a few generations. Well, you need more than a few. They understood this. That's why the plan came down. You know, Esau, you know, he was implementing this gradually over time. Because he knows just all at once would be too much of a culture shock. People would revolt. So they had to implement it over time. So, right, they had to raise their children up, grandchildren. They had to teach them the doctrine. We want to take over the world. One day we're going to have computers, and they're going to be able to think for themselves. But till that time, we got to get the money. We got to lock down the resources. We got to get, you know, this is them. They don't put think tanks together to say, how can we solve this crisis? Or how can we uplift humanity? You know, they don't have think tanks for that. They have think tanks to destroy us. Mainly us. You Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right? But right, this is a old plan. This is, again, Isaiah 10 and 1, grievousness, which they had prescribed, playing out in the earth. This technocratic madness. All right? So I'm going to leave it right there. We'll see how it go tomorrow, man. Still a lot left on this, but I think I want to go a different direction on something else. But in this same arena, all right, in the same topic. All right, so we'll see how it goes. But till tomorrow, y'all stay up. Much love. Shalom.